Why you should support remote work. COVID ignited an interesting debate in the corporate world and has shown that remote work can definitely work, but a significant number of companies have changed to a hybrid model or even gone back to full return to office. People say it's due to local incentives to companies like tax breaks, or due to real estate, or actually even believing in the office culture, whatever. I'm here to tell you from an individual perspective why I think it is much more advantageous to be remote. And also we'll sprinkle in some pros for being in office. So the pros of remote. Number one, time. This is a massive pro. If you think about it throughout the entirety of your life, say even if you spend like 15 minutes a day commuting, getting ready, right, that is a massive chunk of your life. You could say stuff like, oh, I can be productive while on the road. Sure, you can listen to podcasts, but why not have the ability to choose, right? If you were remote, you don't have to do that commute, right? You can get the ability to choose how you use that time. Number two, money, right? You have to pay for gas, you have to pay for maintenance. And if you can walk to the office, chances are your rent's probably higher. And then in terms of food, right, you have to spend the money to buy restaurant priced food, right? It's inconvenient to cook, and it's still inconvenient to bring your own Tupperware, right? So that's also sort of a perspective for health, right? Like, say someone was on a meal plan, right? They have their meals planned out. It's going to be harder to stick to that, right? It's going to be worse for your health, right? Three, allows for more diversity. Some people can't handle the office very well. It's easier to work from home, right? Easier on anxiety. Some people have ADHD, right? The office setting is too noisy, right? There's meetings, people might get anxious for those. And then in general, right, like, being at home is much more comfortable. And number four, there's self-interviewing. So what I mean by that is you can interview without your employer knowing or without you taking PTO. Now, obviously, this is a really big benefit to the individual, right? Because one, we all know that salary progression, right, is way bigger when you actually change jobs, right? Instead of waiting at the same company getting promoted, whatever, right? And then there's also remote interviews, right? If remote work's more common, remote interviews are going to be more common. Instead of on sites, flying is kind of a waste of time. And then starting a new job is easier, right? Again, you're not tied down to a particular place, right? More likely, right? And then not to mention the time it takes to move, right? And all the efforts that are involved in that. Number five, flexibility, comfort, and efficiency. There's less need for bullshit in-person meetings, right? Or bullshit meetings in general. You can just pretend, right? You can pretend you're listening, whatever, zone off during the meeting. You can log off early as you want or log in late. And right, you get to use your own bathroom, you get to pass your gas, burp, whatever, right? Take a call, do a chore, and then if you ever started in your job, you'd be extremely glad to not have to go into the office. On the other end, being in office, right? Social life is probably going to be better since you're going to have a consistent place to be in, right? And you naturally meet people that way. Yes, you'll kind of have the same online, but it's just less sort of interactive, I would say, right? And that could also mean, it could be an improvement to your romantic life. And then there's also companies that offer free stuff like food, snacks, maybe a gym. It's also probably going to be less competitive, right, to get the remote jobs. But, that's probably for a reason, right? Like, since less people want them, right? And then I would say in terms of like onboarding, getting help, it is harder to ignore someone in person. So it is easier to get help. Ultimately, though, I think the pros heavily outweigh the cons. And remember, you don't owe the company anything. If there's layoffs, I've seen at my company people who have like 10 plus years of tenure at the company get laid off. You don't owe the company any loyalty. If you like this video, please like, comment, share, and or subscribe with the notifications to help me put out more videos. Thanks for listening, and take care for now.